Ruben gets his first win, KJ. Talk to me.
It would be an idea. You might like it, you may not. But what you will see is an idea. And that is what we finally saw today, an idea of how to play football. Ten Hag, for the last 18 months, was questioning what we're doing, what we want to do, what we're trying to do. And ultimately got him sacked. Sorry. But today, I believe that we actually saw Amarim ball. It wasn't great. It wasn't like perfect, as in everything was seamless, everything was going its way, but we saw what he wanted to do. He wants to get those fullbacks nice and high and wide and get those cutbacks in, make space in the middle of the pitch so players can run onto. And really and truly, we should have won by more goals. We really should have scored more goals. And this is what I'm happy about, because what he said on the weekend, he said, yeah, Rashford needs to score more goals and Højlund and Garnacho. But as a team, we need to be structured better. We need to keep hold of the ball better. We need to play better so that these guys can get their opportunities. And look what happened today. Yes, we were shaky. We had 2 goals that were awful to concede. But when the confidence was there, when the guys actually started to realize that they can play the system, Bodø didn't have much. And for the majority of that game, after we equalized, we was cruising. We was keeping the ball, was playing some good football, making opportunities. And obviously we scored the goal, which everyone thought it would be offside. I thought it would be offside, but it was not, because everything was timed perfectly. Because these players are good enough to play some kind of football. Now, how does that translate for the rest of the season? I don't know. But for today's game and today's performance, I'm taking more positives than negatives. Because you know what? We already know what the negatives are, and they're on display. But what we saw was some players adapting, some players getting an idea of what to do, and hopefully we can move forward and actually grow on this, because at the end of the day, we are not going to win the Premier League. We're not going to win the Champions League. But we need to build towards getting there. And you do that game by game. So yeah, overall, I'm happy. And last thing before you move on to the next person, Mazraoui is our best player. That is it. He's absolutely amazing. Flipping love the guy.
He certainly has been. Mo, as a kind of neutral to the game, I know I've put words in your mouth earlier, you might totally shoot me down. What did you make of the Man United game tonight?
The player's quality is not as good as Ruben Amorim. It's very obvious. Or they're not used to him. Like, I'm watching some of the plays and I can see exactly the pattern. Like that play, I can see it before it happens. I see Garnacho move and I see Anthony move. I see Mazraoui going to support Anthony, Mason Mount tucking inside. But I think their first touch or their the quality of the pass or the quality of the cross is not great, which is what we said before. Some of these players, he is trying to make use of everyone, which is why he didn't play Dalot today. He played Malacia, he played Anthony, he played Mason Mount. He's trying to showcase everyone. He's trying to give everyone an opportunity. It's very obvious, right? But the reality is some of them are just not good. They need to be changed at the club. I looked at today and I see the positives are Rasmus Højlund looked confident on the ball, which is something that you haven't seen for a while, which is good for him. Noussair Mazraoui is getting better and better by the game. And I told you guys, offensively, the guy is superior. I think he should play the wing back on the right side, not the right center back. When Lenny Yoro comes back, Mazraoui should be your starting right wing back, which is very obvious. He's superb. He has a vision in a cross. He has a vision in a dribble. He has a vision in a pass. And it was very obvious from his Ajax time and his Bayern Munich time. But listen, I'm not going to say that Ruben Amorim today, oh my God, it's great and everything, because he is trying to find the right players for these systems. And some of them are just good. Some of them are not good. Some of them cannot defend in spaces, like Malacia, for example. That long ball was seen from the first pass and he just couldn't keep up with the guy. You need fast defenders. Garnacho, he scored, yes. I still think he wasn't great today, Garnacho, in terms of like the final product. If I'm looking at him, I wanted better from him if I'm a Man United fan. But Ruben Amorim is a coach that today, I noticed one of the negatives that I noticed today, Bruno Fernandes was still playing the long ball. I don't know how you guys felt about that. He's still playing the long ball that Ruben Amorim told him.
I was wanting to say about that.
Did you notice that, right?
Yeah,
Did you notice this?
Yeah, I was going to say on it. that for me, where I was annoyed, but understood. Not what Bruno was doing per se. I don't think I think in 6 months' time, a year's time, he doesn't make those 3 changes at 60 minutes when we go 3-2 up because we were playing really nice, comfortable football. I get your point. Some players need to be better. When we made those changes, there were moments where we looked a little bit old school, where it was 1 or 2 touches and it was bang, they send the ball over the top for players to run onto. And I think we did that too many times. And the one thing Ruben's called out is we give the ball away too easily at times. And what I was enjoying about the game until that point is there was moments where there was an opportunity to play Garnacho in, but it would have to be the ball would have to go through the eye of a needle and we might lose it. So we recycled it into a better opening came up. And no, I do agree with you. There are still those bad habits in the team that need to be eradicated. I definitely saw that. I agree.
But most of the long balls I saw today,
I'm about to say, like,
they got to their men.
That's not, guys. That's not the point. That's not the point.
I get what you're saying.
He
about
wanted
Amarim.
to play the way he said it. He wanted to play more controlled football, and instead of this is Manchester United. The majority of the time, Ruben Amarim, and there's people that listen. I went and I checked the stats, and listen, I didn't watch a lot of Sporting Lisbon. Sporting Lisbon were the number 1 team in terms of position in the Portuguese league. I'm expecting him to try to do the same. Now do a Ten Hag and switch to a transition team or a counter-attacking team. That means there is no spaces like today to play the ball behind. So most likely he wants to play controlled football. Like he did in the majority of the game, he was like, let's play these 10-yard passes instead of trying to play the guys behind until we get to the final third. And I think that's what he wanted because that is how Sporting Lisbon did.
Well, I understand that, but what I was going to say is, yes, I know Ruben wants, that's what he wants to do for the in the long term. But if you look at this game today, if you complain about long balls, that's the last thing you should complain about because they created quite a few of our chances. Garnacho should have scored off it. Rashford should have scored off it. We actually played well. I know the difference was today. The long balls were controlled and they were actually done at the right time. The issue with Bruno before is he'll do it every single time.
Yes,
I think Bruno played well today.
So no, Bruno did play well. This is where I'm in the middle here. The balls we played to Garnacho to put us in, that's when you play them. There was one that, but one of them came from Lissandro as an example. There's a right time to do them, and there's a time where I think we should keep hold of the ball. And I feel like sometimes we did. What's interesting, we had 72% of the ball tonight, which was great. That's the percentages that he wants. However, from when we made those substitutions around the 65th minute, our possession dropped down to 61%. So for me, I feel that, and I know we had chances in that, but it's getting that balance right. What you can also do is criticize the players that missed those chances because it really should have been a 4 or 5, a 6-2 victory, in my opinion. But maybe I'm getting greedy so early on. But Cam, what did you make of it, bro?
Honestly, for me, first off, you said DVDs earlier. That made me laugh. That killed me. Anyway, for me, what was important to see is we stuck to the system, and I think that's all I want to see. Honestly, for the rest of the year, like I'm actually having a hard time, and this is probably just my own football ignorance when it comes to formations, figuring out where everybody should be. But I can tell, I can see, like, that's what I'm doing. It's like I'm sitting there and I'm actually trying to clock and watch, and I can tell we're playing a higher line with the wing backs. I like what I'm seeing from, like, there's a lot of hate on Ugarte signing, and I'm hoping people can see now why he's going to be so important in this team. He covered a lot of ground today, and so did Bruno. And you're starting to see, like, really early who he's going to trust. I think it's going to be fairly obvious who he's going to trust fairly early in this team. What really stuck out to me in the new system is just basically how high up the wingbacks were at all times. That's just something we're not used to seeing, right? There was no we're gonna revert to counterattacking football. There was like we're on the front foot and that's it. Like and it's refreshing because now as he starts bringing in his players, like you said earlier, everybody's getting an opportunity now. Everybody's going to get their chance. Malacia set people back 10 years with that pace. Not going to lie, that was diabolical to me. Watching him get absolutely, because he was trying so hard. That's the thing. It's one thing to like lose a foot race and you're like, oh, okay, but that was full pace and he just got cooked. Which Yeah, so for me, when it comes down to, we're gonna need, obviously the players we have right now, I don't think are the right players for a lot of these positions. I think when we think about that left wing back position, you need, like, either wing back positions, you need pace. You need pace because when you do get beat, you need somebody who can actually recover properly. And that was so clear as day today. You need guys who can run. The fitness thing is going to be very clear. I got to give my hats off to Rasmus today. Like the seeing the sweat and seeing how much running some of these guys have done today. It was very clear what was necessary for this team. So I like the links to guys like Davies, I don't think we'll get, but I think we have to look at players like that on those wing back sides. We have to look in the midfield. We're going to run. Casemiro is not going to play in that midfield, I think, after what we've seen. Like, Eriksen's never playing in that midfield again, right? In my opinion, like, he might, but I don't like. Wouldn't make sense to me because this system that we're playing requires so much running and guys to cover so much space that you can't have old legs. Like, you just can't. So Bruno is perfect for us because Bruno can run all we know. Bruno, there's one thing nobody can say about Bruno is Bruno can run for days upon days upon days, and he can just keep going. It looks like Rasmus has that fitness. So I am curious what you guys think, because when you said we missed a lot of chances, like, I do think like the Rashford chance was very difficult. I also think the one Garnacho chance was difficult, and the other one was a terrible miss. When it comes to our attack, do we think we need another striker, or do we need another attacking mid? Like, what do we need? Because we do need more goals, and I'm not confident in the players we have to get them currently.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, I think, because I've always felt with Rasmus. I feel like Rasmus is an old school number 9. I think he's more of, he can do a bit of hold up play, but I think he likes to play off the shoulder. We don't score enough cutback goals like he's second today. The volume of goals you see Haaland get, where the team works the ball into a position where the ball's cut back across the 6-yard line and he taps it in. Malacia must have got in and had opportunities across the ball in that first half, across the 6-yard box 7 or 8 times, and none of them went there. Garnacho got in 2 or 3 times, and every pass he tries to cut it back to somebody nearer the edge of the box. Anthony was in twice. One time he cuts back, the other time he tries to cross it on the outside of his left foot. The one player who just drilled it nicely across the 6-yard box was Ugarte, and we score. So for me, you're never going to get 4 or 5 chances like that a game, but we should be putting that ball into that area. The boy can score goals. You know, he's got 20 goals for us in something like in 42 starts, which is not a bad return. But I think we need to look. I still think we should look at other strikers. I think we should look at inside forwards. I don't think we should ever. We made this mistake at Man United, and I know that he didn't not make it because he wasn't good enough. But the club overlooked buying Haaland because we had a young Greenwood coming through. I don't think we should make those mistakes again. If there's a player, if Kvaratskhelia, for instance, is available, I don't care about the development of Ahmad. I don't care about the development of Garnacho, Rashford. If someone like that's available, you bring them in. Like, I'm using him as an example. If there's a top-class player that can score goals and or create, who fits into the system that's available or attainable, I don't think Man United should concern ourselves. Well, I'll tell you as to why. Fergie didn't give a shit about Andy Cole, about Ollie, about Teddy Sheringham when he brought in Dwight York. He didn't sit, I can't do it because what about their development and game time? No, Sir Alex Ferguson's job was to win Man United trophies. And I think United fans have got to get back into that mindset where it doesn't matter about a young person's development or the game time for this guy. If someone's better or could be better, I think we should strike. So yeah, I'm more than open for new attackers coming in right across the board.